Welcome to Sleepover Cinema, where we analyze the movies, shows, and music that created the collective unconscious of those who don't mind lip-sync stadium tour performances as long as a tutu and converse are involved. I'm Hannah Leach.
And I'm Audrey Leach, and I wish I was being personally coached by American Idol's Cara DioGuardi.
Today we're going to explore the good, the bad, and the nonsensical of the hook, "We don't need more than the he said, she said."
You said that wrong.
Today we're going to explore the good, the bad, and the nonsensical of the hook, "We don't need no more of the he said, she said, than the he said, she said."
Can you just look up what the lyric is?
No, that's what I did. I pulled, these are the real lyrics. "We don't need more than the he said, she said."
I don't.
Yeah, that's
It's
it.
a line that doesn't make sense.
We don't even know more than the we don't need no more than the he said, she said.
We don't need no more that he said, she said.
Like, we don't need no more that.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need any more of that. Is it like apostrophe no more? It's probably indiscernible when you're actually listening to it. Honestly, I feel like this whole conversation is better than me saying it right anyway.
Just say it one time.
Well, this too would work. We don't need more that. You need to say it. I cannot say this.
Today we're going to explore the good, the bad, and the nonsensical of the hook.
That's right. This week we are talking about the debut album of Miss Sharpay Evans herself, Ashley Tisdale's Headstrong.
Oh, maybe I can see us moving. Get to know the real Ashley Tisdale with her new DVD featuring the video trilogy, He Said, She Said. He said, she said. Not like that. Hot like that. It's not like. And suddenly. Plus, tons of amazing behind-the-scenes footage. There's something about Ashley, the story of Headstrong, available now. He said, she said.
I feel like my struggle to say that right is very emblematic of the vibe of this album as a whole. As we will get into, there are words on words on words in this record, but today's really exciting because we have two really perfect guests joining us today. We are going to be joined by the podcast Fangirl Central. Audrey, would you like to tell us about your experience of discovering them?
I believe it was Maggie on Discord sent a link and was like, "Look at these girls. You guys should have them as a guest." And I was like, "Oh, yeah." So immediately just followed them, reached out to them, and they were like, "Yes." And here we are.
We will definitely get into it with them, but they are also sisters. They have a very similar podcast. They verge more into like fandom stuff than we do, but we go together like peanut butter and jelly, honestly. So I'm excited to get to talk with them. And they chose Ashley Tisdale's Headstrong for this conversation. So I know they're going to have some memories to bring to the convo that will surely be very entertaining. So as we're recording this, it's a Saturday afternoon, which is rare for us. We normally record during the week, but because it's a Saturday, I'm like, what am I going to do with my evening? And now that I have Regal Unlimited, I can just be like, what movie would I maybe see this evening? You know, like it doesn't have to be so committal every single time because I can see as many movies as I want per month.
Yeah.
It's not such a big sacrifice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The one thing I really want to see right now, and maybe it's actually scary, I don't know, but Sydney Sweeney in Immaculate, where she's a nun in Italy or something.
Yes.
That's like the one thing right now, because I was swiping through and I was like, why are there like actually no movies for the girls right now? Like there's actually none. Immaculate is the closest we're gonna get to a movie for the girls.
Yes. I can be the guinea pig for that because I am curious and I do really want popcorn. I didn't get popcorn when I was there last time and it was not insane. Okay.
I've never done that.
I know.
I've never done that once.
It was because we ate dinner right before and I was like, I'm gonna puke.
You gotta get the small. Like
else.
In that case, you get the small because by halfway through the movie, you're gonna want it.
I know. I felt that way.
Yeah.
I won't be making that mistake this time. If you are getting secondhand jealous of our discussion here of what movie we can go see for relatively low commitment, you should consider becoming a subscriber to Regal Unlimited. As you know, Regal is a massive supporter of Sleepover Cinema. Great people, great value with Regal Unlimited. If you're interested, you should give it a shot and then let us know what you're seeing, because we live to discuss such things.
Yes, and you will be able to find the link and the code to acquire that membership in the description.
And you can get 10% off your Regal Unlimited
for the first 3 months
with the link in our bio. So go check it out. Okay, so getting into the facts now surrounding Ashley Tisdale's Headstrong. Headstrong was released on February 6, 2007 by Warner Records / Warner Music Group, and this was her debut studio album. Now, we all know who Ashley Tisdale is in a broad sense. She is Sharpay in High School Musical. She is Candace in Phineas and Ferb, and she is Maddie from The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. But I thought, why not just add a couple other little facts in here about who she is, because I just found them to be interesting. First of all, she's a Cancer. Just another Cancer to add to our list of beloved Cancers. She grew up in New Jersey. Truly was just like a community theater queen, making it happen. She moved to LA when she was 7, but then inexplicably was like immediately on touring productions of Broadway shows. So she was on a tour of Les Mis, and then she was Annie on a tour of Annie in Korea specifically, which I found to be interesting. She's the voice of Dot in A Bug's Life, and she also has a minor role in Donnie Darko. Another interesting fact about Miss Tisdale is that she did not have her breakthrough as an actress, singer, etc. until she was 18. So she went to normal high school and worked retail jobs and was pretty much just like a normal kid until she graduated high school, which I feel like could kind of speak to her lack of train wreck behavior overall. This is just straight reading from her Wikipedia page. Tisdale is considered a sex symbol, ranking on Maxim's Hot 100 list of sexiest women and hottest celebrities in the 2008 list at number 10. In 2013 at number 7, and 2014 at number 33. She posed completely nude for the May 2011 issue of Allure and was quoted in the accompanying article as saying that being in this shoot was me saying, I'm not just the young girl everybody thinks I am. I'm actually a woman.
I will never understand the equation of I have to do a nude shoot for, like, what?
I know.
Like,
I know.
It's logic that doesn't check out at all. They're basically saying that I had to make it seem as though I was in control of sexualizing myself for adult men to feel that they are allowed legally to do that to me. And because I put myself in that situation, that means that I'm claiming my womanhood, when actually it just means that you are signaling to the world of adult men that they are now legally allowed to be creeps when they already were creeps. So it really doesn't make a difference.
Yeah. I've never thought of it that way, but you're right. This album came out in 2007, but what was going on in her career when this album dropped? It's pretty obvious, but High School Musical came out in 2006, and then Sweet Life of Zack and Cody ran from 2005 to 2008, and then Phineas and Ferb ran from 2007 to 2015. The concept for Headstrong, and this is taken from a combination of the Ashley Tisdale wiki and really intense Wayback Machine archived articles. Tisdale got her first start on Billboard when she became the first female artist in history to debut with 2 songs on the Billboard Hot 100 from the soundtrack of High School Musical. Tisdale called the feat crazy, stating, "When I think about artists like Madonna and Beyonce, it's surreal. I seriously can't comprehend it. People know my characters, but they don't know me," says Ashley. "I've never really spilled all the details about my life in interviews before, but on this album, I'm talking about what's happened in my life and what is personal to me. I want people to know that I'm a real person and that I've been through normal situations like crushes and heartbreaks. I think hearing my stories will help the audience relate to me better."
We thought of like all these different titles for my album, and then suddenly we were like Headstrong, and we were like, yes, that's what the album should be called. It should be called Headstrong. And just because, you know, I know what I want. I know, you know, what I want to be. I know who I am. I don't let anybody tell me who I am. And you know, I go for everything that I set my mind to. And sometimes it's, you know, I can be stubborn. Sometimes, you know, you have to, like, you know, kind of get me to just give it a little. But I think it's a good thing to be headstrong. I think that's it's a powerful thing, and it's a positive thing.
This is all pushed by the potential for dollar signs. Like, yeah, I believe that she wanted to make an album. Who wouldn't? In her place?
Yeah.
I basically said the same thing about the Hillary and Lindsay albums. It's like, yes, they wanted to do it, I'm sure, but like that was not their calling necessarily.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes. I mean, I will still say that I am unironically listening to the song Over by Lindsay Lohan like once a week. So who made Headstrong? There are a million different producers on this thing. A lot of the producers seem like very douchey guys that are in some of these very odd behind the scenes videos that I sent to Amanda and Amber. They almost seem like they're making fun of the project as they describe what they're doing, which would make sense, I guess, if they were that douchey.
I'm Jonathan J.R. Rodham, producer of music. I work with a variety of different kind of artists. I did the SOS single with Rihanna. I've been in the studio consistently with Britney, Maya, JoJo, The Game, Trick Daddy, Ashley Tisdale.
Also, Diane Warren worked on the project, and she also worked on Lindsay Lohan's album with her too. So I don't know why Diane Warren was so up in the business of the girls, but she's produced a lot of albums and written a lot of songs for big people, so I guess that makes sense. And of course, we have Cara DioGuardi in this producing situation, and in one of these behind the scenes videos, Cara is like engineering and vocally coaching Ashley on how to get through this one song, and Cara's very clearly like annoyed with Ashley through it, but she's doing her very best to come off as professional, and it's fierce. And Cara was doing God's work for people of our demographic as consumers back in the day. And then also 12 different people did backing vocals on this album, and I just found that to be funny.
When you listen to the album, literally every track that came on, I was like, now who's that?
So how did the album do? Headstrong debuted at number 5 on the Billboard 200 in the US, selling over 64,000 copies in its first week. On June 3rd, 2008, the album was certified gold by the Recording Industry Association of America for shipments of over 500,000 units. It did pretty well. Did it change the course of pop music? That's in the eye of the beholder, I guess. So review-wise, it was kind of hard to find reviews that were still accessible of this album, which was kind of surprising. So I have 2 quotes from legit reviews that are honestly pulled from Wikipedia because I was struggling to get the original articles. So sorry about that. But we have 2 journalist reviews and then 3 reviews straight from the keyboards of Amazon reviewers with good writing skills. So Audrey, take us away.
AllMusic said, unfortunately, Tisdale had more characters singing in character as Sharpay. Her voice is pleasant enough, but it's not especially distinctive, and she's not helped by a batch of songs that aren't nearly as charming as High School Musical's tunes. Gary Graff of Billboard said Tisdale went the contemporary CHR school of fellow mouse products, Britney Spears and first album Christina Aguilera. Lots of synthesizer-laden, beat-heavy, layered vocal dance tracks that varied between come-hithers and self-affirming anthems. But 100% agree. Me and Gary are on the same page.
Yes.
Not to foreshadow too much.
Oh, contemporary hit radio.
Oh.
That is what CHR is.
Okay. Okay. Reviews from fans / civilians. So Someone gave it 5 stars. The title of their review is Breakthrough. Ashley Tisdale's Headstrong was the first CD I ever bought. I found it on a trip to Claire's with my mom and wasn't even thinking about buying it, but I did, and I'm so happy I did. This CD was a breakthrough for me because it opened music to my life. I can't remember a time when music wasn't a part of my life anymore, even though now I listen to other types of music. It was great to begin with, smiley face, and I still consider it to be amazing music. If Headstrong introduced music to you, I don't know what kind of person that shapes, but that's interesting. 4 stars, Headstrong Disney artist. Ashley Tisdale may not be the best singer. Her vocals are really bright and her range isn't the most impressive. However, her music, for a Disney artist at least, is the most daring, and that deserves some credit. Her High School Musical counterpart Vanessa Hudgens tried a more mature formula. However, I felt that Vanessa kept the fear of losing her 10-year-old audience from letting her really soar on the album, making her album kinda poor. Thankfully, that's not the case with Ashley. She truly let go and went her own path, and the reward is possibly the best album released by a Disney artist. Would have been a really good versus. I had that thought. The Vanessa album and the Ashley album.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
You're so right.
But I was like, it's that's too much to cover with 4
Rats.
people. Like, that would be hard. Okay, 3 stars, right down the middle. That's exactly what the pop debut of Ashley Tisdale is. If you enjoy bubblegum pop circa Britney Spears' Oops, I Did It Again, then you'll surely enjoy this album. Tisdale, best known for being part of Disney Channel's Sweet Life of Zack and Cody and High School Musical, steps out from under the shadow of the mouse with Headstrong. I'm not saying that it's a terrible album. In fact, a few of the songs, especially He Said, She Said, Be Good to Me, and Don't Touch, are pretty good. The bulk of the disc is full of a steady diet of easily digested power pop beats. Some parents may find a few of the songs a little too risque for their children under the age of 13. Just keep in mind that this isn't a Disney-produced album that caters to children. It's a mainstream pop effort for Tisdale. With that said, however, most of the songs on here will most likely make it to a junior high dance before you know it. Okay, so then we've got 3 tweets. Yeah. First tweet, I just thought about how in the 3rd grade, every birthday party I went to, I gave everyone the Ashley Tisdale Headstrong album as their birthday present. Second tweet, my friend just told me for her 10th birthday that her mom rented out a roller rink and her crush gifted her Ashley Tisdale's Headstrong album, and now I am canceling my B-Day in Mexico and looking up roller rinks in Philly and buying a Walkman. And finally, I'm going to be honest, I think Ashley Tisdale's Headstrong album shaped every facet of my existence. I am literally who I am because of that album.
And that tweet came from like a terminally online gay. So
yeah, no surprises.
They're probably right. I had not even heard this album until we were called to the plate.
I had definitely heard, I'd seen the music video for He Said, She Said quite a few times because they played it on Disney Channel actually. Even though this is not a Disney Channel produced effort, surprisingly, like, I think they just were agreeable in this situation. But because of that, it kind of confused me. Like, why would you not think it was a Disney produced project, perceiving it being played on Disney Channel? Because they don't even show ads for non-Disney stuff.
Right.
So that confused me.
I know, that's crazy.
Yeah, that confused me. And Ashley Tisdale has just always confused me a bit. I've always felt like, because I don't think that who she ended up being in culture really has almost anything to do with her. Like, it's like this strange conglomeration of images that she's had to portray that don't really seem to represent her as a person.
But it's also like we have no idea what she's actually like because of that.
No, we don't, which is like a gift to her in a way, because I think through making an album like this, she probably was thinking, oh, like this could be a chance for my fans to feel like they know me more. But that is not the experience that I had listening. So we'll talk about that.
I will say, in terms of the playing on Disney Channel, there is a lyric, there's like a version of the song that was made for Disney Channel where, like, for example, instead of being like, one night with you, give me one night with you. It changed to one day with you.
Yeah.
So anything with any level of innuendo.
But the video was like
changed.
her being hot in the club. Like there was no censoring that.
I'm going to bring up the lack of discussing being hot in the club these days in pop music when we get to the second half. We will be back with Amber and Amanda very soon. If you want to give the album a listen, it's on every streaming platform, I assume. And I can't wait to talk about it. Okay, welcome back, everybody. We are so excited. We have Amanda and Amber of Fangirl Central here with us. Welcome.
Hey.
Welcome.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey. Thank you for having us.
Yes. Oh my God. Thank you for having us.
Because they don't know your voices, can you just be like, this is Amanda, this is Amber? Just so they know,
Okay.
like when they're listening, who's who.
Hey, y'all. This is Amanda. This is my voice. This is what I sound like.
Okay, because I feel like you were doing a different voice.
Sorry, this is my voice, okay? My name is Amanda, and this is my voice. So if I am talking, you will know who it is. This is me.
And this is Amber, and now I'm super subconscious of what I actually sound like. This is Amber.
When I found out that y'all were like filmmaking sister duo with a podcast about
Literally-
nostalgic fandom things, I was like, well,
I know.
Twins.
Someone in our Discord had brought you up as a potential like good guest for us to have, and then we started looking at your stuff and we were like, how is it possible that we haven't put
like,
it
what the-
together yet?
Honestly, yeah, I listened to a couple of your episodes. I listened to Easy A and Corpse Bride, and I was like, these, like, I'm like, yes, these are the classic ones. Like, I need to go back and listen to more because those are our classics now.
Yes.
It's crazy. Like, I feel like crazy saying that, but
No,
they
it's
are.
true.
yeah. And just like the mix of like different types of media, like Corpse Bride, but like also Disney Channel, and like
Yeah.
also like classic sleepover movies. Like
Perfect. The
That's
sleepover
like
movies,
there's a lot of
I love it.
crossover. There's a lot of crossover.
Yes.
I love that the two you listened to were Corpse Bride and Easy A. That's such a funny combination. That's so good.
First of all, I've never really thought about Horse Bride as a musical, but
Right?
it is.
Oh, absolutely.
It
Yeah.
like is. There are a lot of songs
Yeah.
in there, but I just never. It never occurred to me really. Just the whole conversation about Easy A, it doesn't make sense. It actually doesn't make a lot of sense. But I will sit there and watch it. Yes. One of you said something like, "I wouldn't recommend it to kids today," but like. If you're curious, go and watch it. And I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't recommend it to kids.
No.
That was probably me.
Which one of you
Okay.
is older?
I was going to
Two?
ask you that because I always like to ask people to guess which one of us is older. I feel like with you guys, it's obvious, I think.
Okay.
I think it's obvious as well with y'all.
Yeah, me too.
Really?
Okay, you guess first.
Amanda has to be the older one.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
And
You're also the pink sister, and that tends
Yes,
to
it's
be
like-
the older sister.
Yes.
I claimed pink
Yeah.
first, kind of
Yeah.
deal. Yeah.
But I love
Yes.
purple.
Yes.
I think
were the
Hannah,
same way.
you're older.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
are
Correct.
you purple? So Hannah, you
I
are
have a
have
lot
your
of pink
pink
shit in
accents.
here. Yes.
Okay.
To those who are not watching the video version, can you describe your hair and the relationship between the colors? Like, describe the vibe for those who are not seeing. Because it is amazing.
So we are sisters, and we, similar to your host, do a podcast together. And like, I just feel like we love pink and purple, but it's also easy to tell us apart because I have pink hair, Amanda is speaking, and Amber has purple hair.
Yes.
And we are like kind of surrounded by and wearing all things Disney Channel. And that's just our entire, like, we had this stuff. Like, we didn't make this stuff
Yeah.
for y'all's
Right.
episode.
This is stuff that was in the
yeah.
garage.
This was in my car. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, let me go get the ring light so that I can, like, put the iPhone up. And then it was, like, all of our props from our Disney Channel musical that we did, like, last year.
Yeah.
And it's, like, us as Hannah Montana
so
cardboard
good.
cutouts. Ashley Tisdale, Gabriella, Troy. Like, all of, like, we're surrounded. On our podcast, we say being a fangirl is central to our identity. it's like we're gonna try to workshop it and do it more, but
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's like I did Troy Bolton drag.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's pretty
Love.
it's pretty out there.
It's
It's
just
good. I'll say it.
because Disney Channel, I think, like raised us in a way that like is unsurmountable. Like I can't even put it into words. Like
It was
Miley
like
Cyrus,
water and air around us.
we're from Tennessee. Miley Cyrus is from Tennessee. We wanted to go to LA. Hannah Montana was in LA. Like That's So Raven is like half of our identities. Like we treated Disney Channel like religion, and that was great sometimes because we loved the musicals and it made us love like filmmaking and stuff. But then it was also like all white, so that's kind of what the show is about.
Yes.
Tell us about your relationship with Miss Ashley Tisdale.
The first time I saw her was
That was Zach and Cody.
Sweet Love, Zach and Cody. Sweet Life on Deck. She's not on that. And I think I just thought she was just really cute. I was just like, who is this? And like, she's great. And then also, I had a crush on Zach and Cody, and Zach had a crush on her. So obviously, I idolized her. And then I remember like within season 1, she got these extensions, and I was like, her hair is all voluptuous all of a sudden. And I was like, this girl is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, she's got it. But she kept on being like the butt of the jokes of like being like not well dressed and not looking good. And I was just like, I'm so confused.
Yeah, me too.
London
I was like
is getting at right
I
now.
honestly was like confused because I was like, but she's blonde.
And yeah,
she's cool.
I was like, but she's
blonde.
beautiful.
But isn't she blonde? So what? Why doesn't everyone think that she's fabulous?
I was like, what are they talking about? And then I saw her as Sharpay, and I was like, right.
Yeah,
And I love Sharpay.
I have like a weird thing,
But I love Maddie, too.
because I loved Gabriella and Vanessa Hudgens. Like I was obsessed with her, but like equally obsessed with Sharpay, and
Yes.
like kind of like conflicted when I would read, because the first fan fiction I ever read was High School Musical fan fiction.
Same.
And before the actual like written fan fiction, it was those weird YouTube videos where it would like be slideshows of their faces, and it was real person fan fiction. It wasn't the characters. It would be like Zanessa or
episode
Zashley.
45.
And I watched an equal amount of Zanessa and Zashley.
Same.
I was like, Zach could be with either of them, you know, like he could be friends to lovers with Ashley. And this was me in like 5th grade, being like, I love them both equally, and I loved that they were best friends in real life, and I loved that they had the albums come out at the same time, and I loved that in High School Musical 2 they had that moment together where they like fought. I was like, yes, and I didn't, and mind you, I didn't know I was gay.
Also,
I had no idea I was gay, and all I did was watch Ashley and Vanessa
I'm
dance.
like, the way that I was like
I
obsessed
did.
with Ashley, but also I just want to say her singing on Sweet Life, Zach and Cody was like amazing to me. And then she was in a musical, and I remember like seeing the trailer for the first time and just not knowing what was going on. I was like, High School Musical? It was just like so different from any other trailer I had seen on Disney. I was like, what kind of movie is this? Because there was something different about the lighting and the presentation of it all. And I was like, I don't know what this is, but we're going to watch it because I don't know what it is. But Ashley was in there, and I was like, that's Maddie. And she's singing.
As soon as High School Musical aired on January 20th, 2006, my life changed completely.
Yes.
Like, in a way that it's like it's like completely ridiculous. It's like
Her
I
voice.
had to be Zach, Vanessa, and Ashley, but I also wanted to be Kenny Ortega.
Yes.
It was like that serious.
I wanted to be in the extras. I wanted to be in the ensemble.
I was pained.
I wanted to be on set.
I was so pained and depressed that I wasn't on that set. I was like, put me in, coach, let me do it. I can do it with them.
And
I can get up there. I know the moves. Like,
we can.
I know them.
We've talked about Miss Tisdale many times, and like the voice is a lot for me. Like, I get that it's like an acquired taste, but sometimes, especially when we get to the song "Unlove You" on this album,
I love
we're
that
gonna
song.
talk about it.
That song had me
Because-
feeling like I had been wronged and
too.
divorced 4 times.
Right. The thing is, okay, I know.
I get what you're saying,
Me
though.
too, because I'm like, I get it too, because it is an acquired taste, and I really like it just because it's clearly something she's doing, and it's almost as unique as whatever Britney Spears has to her. Like how Britney Spears sings, it's just like as unique as that to me. And I don't know if she was like trying to have her own version of that.
You can just really clearly tell what market they're going for. Like they want They want a Britney fan. They want like a Christina fan.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they're going for. Her voice has just always confused me a bit because I always felt she started in theater and you know, Sharpay's character is technically supposed to be a theater girl, right?
Yeah.
But she's not. She's like a pop girl. I
Yeah.
feel like that's her truth. And so I always thought that Sharpay's character arc should have actually been that she didn't really give that much of a fuck about theater and actually wanted to like go to LA and like get a record deal.
That's interesting.
Or at least that's what the spin-off should have been.
Sharpay's
Like she can be a
Fabulous
theater
Adventure.
girl in high school.
That should have been Fabulous
Right,
Adventure. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
important.
Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure, like, when we can talk, like, that's a whole other episode, but, like, I just feel like they mischaracterized her so bad in that movie.
Yeah.
Like, so bad.
Yeah, it's awful
Agreed.
to watch. I don't think about that movie.
I just always cling to, like, things with musicals. Like, my favorite episode of That's So Raven is the musical episode with the undercover superstar. Like,
The commercial episode of Sweet Life, Zack and Cody, when they
Yeah,
do that
like,
big number, is amazing.
the musical
and Phineas and Ferb
episodes.
is fantastic.
Sharpay is the second lead. And I have to stress, I love Gabriella. I love
Her
Vanessa
voice,
Hudgens.
her acting.
But Sharpay is the female lead.
I agree.
Because
Yeah,
it's
pretty
kind of
much.
it's like you have to think about this. Sharpay, I mean, I'm sure everyone's seen like the theories and like the think pieces online, but like Sharpay has been at this school. She thought that she was going to get this part because this is her. You know, it's kind of like the theater kids out of school are pretty set in stone with who's going to be who, and maybe that's not great for character building for the children who are just developing and maybe want to like fit into different things. But you kind of get typecast as a theater kid, and she is like, I know that I'm going to get this. Then a new kid and the sports guy are all of a sudden like we're in the running.
Take this over.
So we're now going to be the leads of all the players.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
That's a
It's
little
fucked
wild.
up. And also never happens. It's just funny that like the plot of High School Musical turns into like scheduling issues.
Yes, it's all about that.
That's
that
the twist.
That's
you never
literally the whole
actually get to the musical. And
No,
like, I want to see the damn musical.
Because someone should
I
make
want.
it.
Because what musical, like, what's the,
Yeah.
I want to know the plot, because what has, like, Bop to the Top, Breaking Free,
It's Twinkle Town
and
Musical.
what I've been looking for. Like, what's the plot?
Yeah.
And what are their names? Minnie and Arnie or something?
Minnie and Arnold, right?
Yeah.
That's a great
Yeah.
idea for you. If you guys are doing live shows, now that is an idea.
We should really
is
like look
to
into
write
it. We should really dig in and be like,
Yes.
what could it be about?
We would have to get someone to compose,
Yeah.
like, more song. Like, maybe we could call up Kenny Ortega.
Hey.
We should really talk about Headstrong, shouldn't we?
Yeah,
Oh,
we should
right.
talk about it.
Ashley
So,
Tisdale.
when did you get Headstrong? When did it enter your life?
As soon as it, like, I was listening to every single single as it came out. And then when Headstrong, the album, dropped, I was, like, on it. Like, got the DVD, that the behind-the-scenes featurette that y'all sent, like, I was
We
on
were watching that.
Like, I watched that over and over. I was recognizing, like, the songwriter. I was like, oh, I remember her. Like, she's telling her, like, how to do this. Like, I knew all the lore. Like, the 3-part music video trilogy is all over that. Like, I didn't go to the High School Musical tour because I feel like I was boycotting it because Zac Efron wasn't on it. And
That didn't make
I
any
refused.
sense.
Which valid.
Yeah.
I refused to watch. I had no interest in watching, like, them perform that
Performing.
on stage. But every single time someone uploaded a video of Vanessa or Ashley on that tour singing their own solo projects, I was like, this is the hottest thing I've ever seen. And yeah, I'm straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm straight. But I just love to watch them dance and sing.
For the longest time, I didn't know that was from the High School Musical tour. Like, I feel like a lot of times Amanda would reference, you know, them from the High School Musical, and I'm like, I had no place to assign where that could have been from. I was like, I don't know what this video is from, but it's amazing.
And the blue corset that she wears,
Yes,
like, is
the
like
outfit.
iconic. Like, and the way that she like stomps
and
up the stairs.
Yes.
It's the blue corset with the black tank top for modesty underneath that I love.
Yes. Oh my
Yes,
God, because they're like,
I-
it's still
so good.
Disney.
I also, like, they were in their early 20s, so, like, they were adults, and they were trying to be seen as adults in an era where, like, Disney Channel was so pure, and I just Headstrong and V specifically like scandalized yet like opened my eyes up. Like there's so many of these songs that are like so sexual, like how they changed, like I could see us kissing like that, like moving like that, to like chilling and like dancing on the radio edit, and even when they would show it on Disney Channel, and I it just like the Zoom song, like don't touch me there, like I'm like don't touch you where? Don't touch you where?
There were so many things that I didn't know what they were talking about, but I was like, this sounds like grown up.
And the way they would dance together, like in the like airport, like those videos, I just the way that they were just so effortlessly cool and like cool, like chill girls. Like it was everything that I wanted to be. And I obviously saw it in Miley, because like that's how Miley was, even though people around her were like, don't cuss, don't smoke weed, like don't do all of that stuff. Is like the cool girls, and they got something to say, you know, like they have something to say that nobody else can say,
right?
Like, or that's how it seemed like when I was 11, you know.
We're gonna go through this track list, which I know there's so much to discuss. We're gonna go through the tracks, and then we're gonna pick our top 3 and bottom 3.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
So let's go for that.
It's tough.
I got that.
It's tough.
I have my top 3. Yeah,
I got that.
First song on the album is So Much For You. Okay, because we just did this this episode on Hilary Duff's Metamorphosis and Lindsay Lohan's Speak. I went into this,
love those albums.
even though I knew they're both so good. Even though I knew He Said, She Said, I went into this expecting it to be like a pop rock girl situation. And I was not expecting the sound, which was like Pussycat Dolls kind of.
Yeah, like R&B. Yeah. It's like R&B hip hop.
Yeah.
Yes, I was blindsided by this as like the texture of the music. I just didn't know it was going to be like that.
I could say the same, like going back and listening to it, I'm like, oh, I just was like, I'm seeing how this was placed in society from maybe being 25 around that time now, rather than just being like, this is Ashley Tisdale, who is on Disney, and therefore that's why I'm listening to this, and it's really good. Like, it is Pussycat Dolls. That's a good way to describe it. And also So Much For You, I didn't really listen to it growing up. I would always skip it, but I really like it. And I like remember it, and it kind of just brought back a lot of nostalgia of the times, and I'm like,
I'm going to go ahead.
The era.
I'm going to go ahead and say that when I was in 2007, when this came out, this was a no skips album for me. And like far into, whenever I'm like feeling nostalgic, I will put this album on and listen to it all the way through, no skips, like at all. And so it's gonna be hard to pick my bottom 3, but I'm gonna do it. This song confused me because the phrase "so much for you" is like, so much for you, well, so much for that. That's what I thought. But that's not what she means in this song. She means that I would do so much for you.
But I think it's both.
Yeah.
I think that's what she's saying. I think like,
and it's just, it's almost there, but it just doesn't come together.
Okay, see, I disagree, because that's why I like it so much, and that's why I started to like it so much. Because what I think, when I was listening to it, the exact same thing, I was like, wait a second. She's saying, I do so much for you. And I think she's saying that in the verses. But I think by like, when she, like in the ad-libs at the end, I think she's going, well, so much for you. I think she's like, I do, da-da-da-da, I'll take it. So much for you. Like, I'll do so much for you. And then she's like, well, so much for you. Like, you know?
Yeah, I get it.
I think it's kind of like not a call and response, but like, it's
a double entendre.
She's taking you, it's a double entendre, and she's taking you through it chronologically. She's like, I did all this, so much for you. I'm done. I'm done. And I like it. I think it's great.
Do you guys know it so much better than I do?
You know it so much better than we do.
I literally, like, fuck my opinions. Who cares?
Oh my god.
Let's try to go with
you know what? Why don't you? Let's just forfeit this podcast and just.
No, I want to hear what you guys think about it from a perspective of like, this is just what I remember and this is what they put out.
Yeah.
Because we also have it from a very nostalgic like connection to it. Like, listening to this the past 2 weeks just to like prep talking about this, I have been so happy in my car listening to this. I've been like blasting it and just like I just feel like Ashley Tisdale in the 2000s, which is like the coolest girl to me at the time.
Yeah.
I'm glad because when you guys picked this, I was like, they have to love it to have picked it because it's kind of a deep cut. So I feel like I'm being educated. I'm just happy to be here, honestly.
Yeah, it's a fun album. It's also like, it was also a fun time. It was like Disney's peak. It was like Disney Channel's peak.
Yes.
So it's like just a fun time to like reminisce in and then look back on as people who are older than they were at the time.
Yeah.
Right.
I really didn't realize how good it was. Like it's fantastic.
This is one of my, I love this album. Like I love these songs, and some of them are so ridiculous. Like,
and it's so Ashley Tisdale. Like I really cannot describe it to be anything else. I can't assign it to be anyone. Like I'm just like, this is very Ashley Tisdale core. Like this is her whole genre. It's Sharpay, it's Maddie, it's Candace, it's Ashley Tisdale. She has an umbrella of a universe.
Have you guys ever seen what she like actually looks like before she like transformed herself into a long blonde hair person?
Like with her brown hair when she's like younger?
Yeah, like the curl. She had super curly, dark brown hair. And like, I'm pretty sure she's Jewish, no?
Yeah, she is.
I didn't know that.
Like, it's just like a kind of alarming transformation. And I sometimes wonder like what she feels about it now.
It takes hours to do my hair. I sit in this chair for practically half of my life. It takes a long time for my hair to look naturally straight.
I don't think anyone was perceiving her as Jewish, which maybe that's not important to her identity. I don't know. But when I saw pictures of her for the first time, like before she got Disneyfied, I couldn't believe it was her. And I feel like she just like morphed into this image because it ended up being what was successful for her, like business wise.
That is like,
interesting.
Honestly, I think about that, and even because at the beginning of this episode, I was fawning over like this blonde icon, as we did everyone on Disney Channel, and like she morphed herself into a blonde icon to be successful the same way Miley did as Hannah. It's a very interesting like warp that happens, because now it's just a trope that no blondes are blonde.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any blondes are really blonde except for like
platinum
Swedish
blonde
people. And
Swedish people.
Right. like literally there's these two archetypes, and it was like Vanessa and Ashley, and it was like the like dark haired like sexy girl or like the blonde like superstar. And it's crazy that was them, and they were best friends, and Miley was both, because she played herself and then she played the like pop star version of herself. And like you have to think like how that fucks with somebody's sense of self and identity. To me, like blonde represents this like American thin white femininity that like I was always yearning for, because of Disney Channel and because all the popular girls in my grade, we went to all girls school in Memphis for 12 years, Amber 15 years. And like all the popular girls were dirty blonde. And then there was a summer before middle school, and it was like all the girls that were dirty blonde or brunette came back and they were blonde. Like it was like over a summer. And then forevermore, most of the people in the grade were blonde. And it was just like, that's what our show Disney Vortex is about, is like yearning for this, like this fake femininity that like, cause now I'm like working through being non-binary and like feminine enough, and like being black, and like actually what femininity is like just white femininity and like dainty white, like princess blonde femininity. And it's really interesting to see, because like I don't think Ashley Tisdale is like that, you know, like her personality is not like quiet and dainty and like and feminine and small, and so she's always like, if you see her on the High School Musical set, she's always playing pranks, and she's always being loud, and she's always laughing, and like being like away from like whiteness means that you're different, and so you just have to like clamp that down in Hollywood as much as you can. But yeah, like I think it's very interesting that she was just another one that went blonde, blonde. Wasn't really blonde.
This reminds me of two things. So I wrote down at one point under my notes for "Going Crazy." I wrote down horniness as villain behavior. And I feel like that's her whole thing, because in this album she's very like brashly sexual, and I feel like with like Vanessa or other people like that, it would be more like coy, like kind of teasing at it, whereas she's like very blunt, and she's like that in High School Musical too, and I'm like, why is that villain behavior? But I feel like it is.
I think it's because people are a little just taken aback by people actually just saying what they want bluntly. And that could be because of someone's personality. That could be because of they might be neurodivergent. Like, it could be for a bunch of different reasons, and it just kind of makes other people very reserved because they're like, I'm not bold enough to do that, and this is off-putting to me.
Especially on Disney Channel, kind of like I could feel them like kind of trying to push all that down, because it's not like they didn't have her singing Going Crazy on the High School Musical tour. I could never find her singing Don't Touch, the Zoom song, live anywhere, because it was like, we don't need 12 and 10-year-olds to like hear you saying "Boy, don't touch me" there.
I want to say,
I also want to say Vanessa Hudgens. If you listen to her own music, it's also kind of this like brashly sexual stuff, and like I think they were both trying to like break out of the Disney thing while they were still on Disney, because they were like, we're adults, like we started on Disney when we were adults, we blew up because of Disney, but that doesn't mean that we don't have adult desires. Like if you watch Vanessa Hudgens dance and sing Let's Dance on the High School Musical tour, the movements that she's doing with her hips is out of this world, like and she's like like she's there, you know, and they're both there, and I'm like, they really let them do this.
They were really going off. They're dancing hard. But I want to say with Going Crazy, I did listen to that song on repeat all the way to and from school for like several days of 4th grade. Like, we had a 30-minute commute, and I would listen to it on repeat because I loved that song so much.
This is Amber's favorite song. She'll just play it in her car randomly.
I don't know what it was, but this song I was like, this is amazing. I was like, the way she is singing, and the way she is singing so fast and good in this song, I don't know why. I have no idea, but I had to listen to it on repeat.
One thing that we talk about a lot is the rules that we had about what we were and weren't allowed to watch or listen to as kids. Did you have that at all? Like, what were your parents' approach to this kind of thing?
They weren't helicopter parents, but we did grow up in the Church of Christ, which is like a sect of Christianity where you take everything in the Bible verbatim. It's like very essential, like fundamentalist. And so what we were getting at church was very, very like no cursing, no alcohol, no like sin at all. And so our parents didn't drink. They never cursed around us. When we would watch stuff that had cursing in it, and we would listen to songs with like cursing in it, but we would always like never curse and like try to listen to the clean versions, you know? And I think it was put on us because of our Christian upbringing, and because we went to an all-girls school in the South and everybody was Christian, just like, and Disney Channel was so Christian. I've said this a million times, Amber's heard it a million times, but when I read in an interview that Zac Efron said the word shit, I had an identity crisis. I was like, do I have to think about really if I need to still support him. And then in Hairspray, when he said kiss my ass,
I was like,
Amber was like, I don't know about that. And I was like, Amber, I have something to admit to you. He's cursed in an interview.
And I was like, oh, because I went up to her and said, well, at least it was just he had to say it for the line.
Had to say it for the role.
And Amanda was like, well, he actually says it on his free time. But
he actually really
I think that we just
I
think the reason why we connected to Disney so much is because I took all of it as, I was just so naive. I was like, yeah, everybody here, squeaky clean. No, the Jonas Brothers, the brothers have purity rings.
That was going to be my next question, is like Jonas Brothers, purity rings.
Well, like, okay, you have to think about it. Miley, Demi, and Selena, all from the South, all Christian.
Always talked about God, always were reading Bible. Justin Bieber, he came up and started talking about it too. Like,
because we grew up in the church, I think we just didn't even question it. It was just like, oh, like, the way I treat the church is like unquestionable, they're right. The way I treat Disney Channel, unquestionable, they're right.
Yeah, and you know what? And a lot of people need to be questioning things, because I don't want to get all controversial right now, but I think that a lot of people in the church just use it as a shield to be like, you can't touch me. I've been blessed by saying I am with a church.
Amber, that's not controversial at all.
Well, it's not controversial, but some people can get very angry. Chill out and think about it, you know? So you just go with the flow because you're told it's good. And you know what? That's fine as a kid, but grow up and ask some questions.
Vanessa and Ashley and like Raven Simone were like our Destiny's Child. Like I didn't get into Beyonce and Destiny's Child and like actual adult music until late in high school.
Yeah, until high school.
Because I was so wrapped up in like the Disney Channel girls and the Disney Channel people. Like,
And the One Direction came.
it took me a while to get like comfortable with the idea of sex at all. Like, and this album and like Vanessa and Ashley like being just a little bit sexual was like a big step in my own like comfortability with
it was scandalous. Like this was scandalous.
Like I wrote in my notes under multiple songs, scandalous. I was scandalized.
Yeah.
I was so scandalized here.
Yeah.
Did y'all grow up religious? Where'd y'all grow up?
Well, we were born in Akron, Ohio, but we went to church, but we were not religious.
We went to church. We were confirmed basically because we like had to. Like
You're told
Oh,
to.
is this? Is
I
it,
got
so
baptized.
were you Catholic?
No. We were like First Congregational Church, so like Protestant.
Protestant.
Okay.
But, but
okay.
confirmation was still a thing. But you did it when you were like 15, not when you were like
Yeah, it was
5.
like, well, we were baptized as babies, but then
Okay.
the whole confirmation process was, like freshman year of high school-ish.
Okay. Yeah, we didn't get baptized as children. We
Around 12.
We had to like choose to do it.
Yeah.
So I did
Got
it at
it.
like 13. I think
Yeah.
there's pictures of me. It's
Same.
crazy.
I just don't know about it.
Like, I personally was never religious, but we went through the motions.
Got you. Yeah, I treated Jesus like a fangirl. Like I was like,
too. I
let
was
me
like-
read Genesis cover to cover and
Right.
like really write Bible verses on my mirror for a while there.
Yeah, I wanted to get into it. I was like, let me
Wow.
study up. And then I was like,
let's, and then our mom was like, do you want to go to, in high school was like, do you want to keep going to church? It's your choice. And we said, we can decide not to, and we can sleep in on Sundays. No, we'll never go again.
we will never go again. And in fact, they say some
Yeah.
questionable things up in there.
Yeah, and also honestly,
Yeah.
to bring it back to like musicals and stuff, watching Glee made me be like, gay people deserve rights, and I don't want to go to church anymore.
Can I say, yeah, okay, I agree with that, but also, I remember specifically the Mother's Day and the Father's Day sermon of 1 year, because, you know, they're kind of close, it's 1 month apart. Both of them made me stop and be like, that's not how my mom acts, and that is not how my dad acts, and that doesn't seem, that just seems too specific, yeah.
like was it like traditional roles?
Yeah, I was just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And that was when I was starting to be like, oh, feminism. So I must have been like 8th grade or something. But I just
Okay,
remember-
yeah, because I was in my Glee bubble then. I was like, get me Kurt and Blaine on my screen right now.
Yeah.
Get me Santana and Brittany and Quinn and
Yeah.
let's go girls. And we were not communicating.
Yeah.
No, we weren't communicating. We were like separately obsessed with things. What was I obsessed with? This is what? It was Justin Bieber.
You weren't talking about all of these things?
We were obsessed with Disney Channel together and like Barbie and like stuff in childhood, like together. And then I started going through puberty and we started distancing for like the middle school years, and like we had separate fandoms. Like Amber got into Degrassi when I got into Doctor Who and like Glee and like Percy Jackson and Harry Potter, and then we came back together for Avatar: The Last Airbender in high school. And then when I started driving Amber to school, we got into One Direction. She got me into One Direction.
I brought Amanda into One Direction,
and then
finally after caving away.
And that was the same year that we went to Comic-Con the first time together. And then since 2013, I feel like 2013 is our like fangirl anniversary as sisters.
Yeah, because we were like, now wait a second.
We're like, now we're in this together.
We're on a mission to do these things.
I'm going to show you my favorite movies, you show me yours. Like, we're in it together. We go to Comic-Con every year.
Understand when I say what I say about this obscure character here.
Why don't we try to do one sentence per song?
Okay.
And we'll all do one sentence per song. If we really want to say something, then we can. But let's try to keep it to one sentence as a challenge to ourselves. We already did So Much For You. So we're going to not do that one. He said, she said.
I think that this is the most iconic second single that she could have ever chosen.
There is a video of her listening to this in the car before it's released, and I hope that she felt how good of a song this was when she was listening to it, because it is so good.
My only thing I have to say is hair extensions. I had a triple barrel hair curler in high school that would do that exact wave, and I had extensions like that, and I would get like the mermaid wave thing going on. I was an extensions girl in high school really hard, and they looked good.
I only have one thing to say, and I will not ramble, but the mermaid hair is exactly what you need to how to describe Ashley Tisdale, especially because she had that Kiss the Girl cover.
Oh, right.
And that was so iconic. It's just like, that is not how the song sounds ever again. And never will, never has, never will. No. That is Ashley Tisdale's version of the song.
Universe.
Audrey, last words on He Said, She Said.
Just as a child, I never knew what she was saying. Like, I feel like most people can't really decipher the main line, "We don't need no more," that he said, she said. And then also lyrically, what is the story being told? Because I'm a little confused.
That's fair.
I don't know. You can watch the trilogy, the music video trilogy, and it makes it a little bit clearer.
Yeah.
It's like there's this guy, and then she eventually meets up with him again. But other than that, it's unclear what he said or
it's
what she said.
Only.
What did he say? What did she say?
And it almost is like referring to like two people outside of herself. I was
the narrator.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, is that how they're like getting away with putting this on Disney Channel? Is because it's kind of like outside of her, like she's involved.
They changed,
but
also,
it's not her.
the clean lyrics are not one night with you; they're one day with you.
Right.
Like you can't have sex in the daytime.
No sex in the daytime.
No sex in the daytime. No afternoon delight.
Be Good to Me featuring David Jassy.
I mean, the music video or the video of her dancing on stage in the blue corset, I watched countless amount of times growing up. It's amazing.
Yes. To me, my sentence is that this song is December 2006. Like, there's no other description. It's like, it is winter and it's 2006 and I'm 10 years old. Like, that's it.
Mine is that the production reminded me of Rumors by Lindsay Lohan pretty heavily in the beginning, especially.
Yeah, I can hear that.
I love Rumors by Lindsay Lohan. I begged my mom to let me perform Rumors by Lindsay Lohan in the school talent show. And she said, Amanda, I don't think that would be a good idea. we can't have a 9-year-old on the talent show stage to kids from 5 to 18 with you singing about how you're in the club and people are taking rumors about you. But I really wanted to do it. I've always, and okay, this is blending into the next song, not like that, with like people being jealous of you. Like, I've always like internalized that type of message of a song. When I was like 10, I'd be like, yeah, like I'm not like that. And like the rumors that are going around, they're not okay. Like, you need to stop saying that about me. And I'm like, it's like, no, who's saying that about you?
My only statement for Be Good to Me is that rhyming whale with Tisdale is just, that's genius.
Ashley Tisdale.
That's genius. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Now going into Not Like That. First of all, the way that she hits her T's when she goes not like that. Like the T's are so loud. And additionally, I just miss the era of the club being romanticized in pop music because it just doesn't happen now. And it's really funny and of its time.
That's so crazy that you mentioned Rumors, because I wrote in my notes, this is like Rumors by Lindsay Lohan. And it is, like, honestly, now I don't have anything to say because I'm so speechless about this whole thing and like the music video and how she probably did get looks from the girls in the club at this time, because she was like the it girl on Disney Channel. She probably went to the club with Vanessa Hudgens, and we didn't have social media like we did back then, so it was literally like everybody in the club.
They're probably double taking.
Yeah.
Like, is that actually
just
her?
Double taking, stank energy.
This song, when I'm listening to it in my car, because I do put this on playlists, it's on various playlists. Listening to this album the past 2 weeks is not the most recent time I've listened to this. I listen to it often. It makes me feel amazing. I'm like, I am running errands I am running my errands. I am in my car, and I'm going to get everything done on my list today.
Listening to hip hop.
The type of chick that hits spots listening to hip hop. Sorry, but to go back to So Much For You, that sounds like a song that would be in a Bratz movie at the beginning. For sure.
Okay, Unlove You.
I can't love you, can't do that. No matter how I try, I'll never turn my back on.
I used to sadly stare out the window, as I said before, as if I had had 4 divorces. Like, and I had no crushes at all to speak of.
Yeah, I feel very deeply when I hear this song. I'm like, oh, I'm sad. For no reason, nothing's happening.
Extremely unbelievable vocal performance, and that can be up to interpretation what unbelievable means. I have no nostalgia. I could not believe how bad the singing was on this song.
It's raw.
It sounds like it's so bad. Like, it kind of felt like it was like drunk karaoke a little bit, but
it's real.
I feel bad shitting on it because I know you guys love it. Just that song in particular, I was like,
Listen,
oh my god, like I was stunned.
I miss a vibrato from her in a ballad. Like, if we're gonna take it to an emotional place, I know she started in the theater, so it existed at some point, but then once the Sharpay of it all took over, it just became like all straight tones, and I just wish there was more of a vocal variety. And they will purposefully make her sound really shrill. Like, I just, it feels unnecessary. Like, I don't know.
I feel like I also wonder if that was the direction, or if that was her choice of how she feels comfortable singing or belting. But I've always
Probably
wondered that
both.
too. But I still think that that's just like also to what I was saying, her style. Like that's what. But I do wonder what led her to the style.
Partially it was a character choice because it's like, how would somebody like this sing? But it just never made that much sense to me, because if you're a theater girl and you're perceived as good, you're not going to sing like that. So it just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
But
I think it
in a
was,
pop context, it makes sense.
yeah, I think it was definitely a stylistic choice from Kenny Ortega to like get kids that were watching Disney Channel into musical theater.
Okay, Positivity.
You're looking at me, I'm looking at you. What do you want? Show me some positive. It's all that I got.
To have it go from Not Like That to Unlove You to Positivity, I'm confused about what we're doing here.
I also think the album choice was weird. Like, I think the order was weird. I think it was just kind of placed in when she finished it, honestly. This song makes me bounce.
Me too. It's a true dance number. Like, I was dancing in my living room when it came on.
And it felt really different to me from the rest of the album. Like, in the listening experience, I was like, oh, this feels like a bit of a shakeup.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it sounded like now, but I wrote that down.
Show me some baby. I gotta get some baby. Show me some positivity.
Yeah, if you could just give us a little sample
snippet. Yeah.
that would be good.
Oh my god.
For Positivity, I had that there was some heavy technical assistance on the vocal in certain moments.
It was giving When There Was Me and You by Gabriella in the first High School Musical, when she couldn't hit the low notes.
Right.
It's funny when you find yourself looking for
That was fully a different voice, too.
Like,
There was like
different.
definitely a different voice in
Completely different voice.
for a verse or something.
Love Me For Me.
Love me for me, and not for someone that I would never be.
This is a song that I used to skip as a child because it was not grasping my attention.
I think it's empowering, you know, like, don't love me, but it is on my bottom 3.
Yeah.
Like, because to me, it sounds a little bit like Everyday from High School Musical 2, and I don't love Everyday, especially compared to Breaking Free. Like,
Everyday grew
I
on
think
me.
it's it grew on me, obviously. It's just not my favorite.
Yeah. I love that one. I cry at that number now.
I agree with you. In the first half, we were talking about, you know, any Disney Channel artist would say that they want their album to better represent who they really are to their fans instead of who their character is.
Yeah.
And like song is clearly just an attempt to do that in some way, but like it is too general. It's just too vague to actually do that.
It don't connect.
It's a problem in all their albums, like Lindsay's, Hillary's, this one, where they can't get too specific about any true life experience because for a plethora of reasons. But I just wish they would sometimes just to like
and they do now these
name
days.
names.
They do now these
because
days.
they didn't write it, you know, like they just like picked
I mean,
they
and
picked the
stuff,
ones that
which I
they
think
related to the most.
I think it differentiates this batch of girls from like people like Olivia Rodrigo and even like Billie Eilish and Renee Rapp. Like I think that if you let these young people into the process of creating their own albums, it would have made it way better. Like like you can tell in like Demi Lovato's first album that she was involved in the writing, even though like the Jonas Brothers helped her a lot. Like you can tell that young people helped her versus like, and you can also tell that like, you know, Miley sprinkled her own little attitude in there versus like sorry, I've listened to every single thing Selena Gomez has ever released, however like it's so impersonal. Like you can just tell that it's just so impersonal compared to like Miley and Demi's body of work.
We talked about going crazy. Now we're at Over It.
I love when this song comes on.
I think this song is so camp. I love the dirty bass funk sound.
I'm obsessed with
this.
I'm obsessed with the intro.
The voicemail call, like
I'm like, we're in the 2000s.
I'm like, this is like a
fucked
scene.
up. Something happened.
This is a scene in a movie. This is a scene in a movie. It should have been in a movie.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever heard the song "The Call" by the Backstreet Boys?
I must have, but it must have not stuck.
Yeah.
Because I never was even a Backstreet Boys fan, but recently my friend got extremely into the Backstreet Boys, and so I've heard it a lot in the car. And when I heard this song, Over It, I was like, this is a ripoff of The Call by the Backstreet Boys.
I believe it.
Like,
I believe that too.
Yeah.
I liked this song. I was like, I like the energy of this song, and it's like shameless.
Yeah, I just wrote down Britney.
Oh.
Yeah, that was my main takeaway.
It's super Britney.
Yeah.
You're right.
Don't touch the Zoom song. When she says that people see her body in videos, what videos is she referring to?
I agree.
That's my question. Also, this is a cover. I found out.
Who sang it originally?
I think I knew that. It's from.
It was an artist I did not recognize, but in my research today, I discovered it's a cover.
It sounds like it's not about her, really. You know?
Yeah.
Like she's singing something else that was given to her. But also, this song was very scandalous to me growing up, but I love it as well.
My other note for this song is like there's something lesbian about this song.
Yeah, and also there's it is. Yeah, I hear that because. But also the ears, I noticed with the AirPods or with the earphones that I had as a child, it goes through. That's the first time I ever heard a sound go zoom, zoom, from one ear to the other. Yeah, I was like, no, this is something magical.
We'll be together.
We'll be together, so don't ever stop listening to your heart.
I wrote that this is the most acceptable ballad by a lot, in my opinion, on the album.
This is another one that was like Love Me Free Me, where I was like, as a child, I was like, it's not grasping me.
I will say same. And like, it's so funny that you say that it's the most acceptable ballad because that's probably why it's my least favorite, because it's just forgettable. Like, because of my history with Disney Channel, I think my taste is super wonky, and just like, if it's weird and if I've heard nothing like this before, I'm like, give it to me.
I wrote that the beginning reminded me of Owl City. like what's that song? Like Fire, well, you know that one, the popular
Fireflies.
one.
Yeah.
Fireflies.
Yeah.
I can hear that.
Oh my god.
Owl City.
Headstrong.
These are headstrong, crazy days when your mind's made up and the music plays. Headstrong, can you feel the beat? Meltdown, can you feel the heat?
I don't know about the album order placement of this, but I will say that I really appreciate that they put this song almost dead last, because it really makes you wait for it. Sometimes people put the title track as the first title or the one in the middle, but this song, and the way it starts, here comes boom, dum dum, ba-dum, dum boom, dum dum, da-dum, dum boom. Like, it builds up. It's like Headstrong's about to play.
I
It's
literally, all my notes are
fantastic.
just all caps, like the lyrics, like with millions of exclamations, like these are headstrong crazy days.
Yes.
Like
and
I don't know if y'all watched her
It's
perform
so
this,
good.
but like the choreo,
It is
it's like
so good.
headstrong. Can you feel the beat? Meltdown. Can you feel the heat? Like it is like, if you want to just
lose your mind.
The Yoda grammar structure. I'm a straight up kind of girl. I am. Okay, all right, Yoda. I
Yeah.
see what you mean.
Yes.
I need to put this on my summer album because it like is so like summer.
These
like,
are Headstrong crazy days.
headstrong. Can you feel the beat? Meltdown. Can you feel the heat? Yes.
Oh, it's so good.
It's very summery.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh, like you thought
Yeah.
I was just that little girl on Disney now? No, I'm not anymore.
I said, holy shit, those strings. I don't remember what it is, but apparently there are loud strings.
It's the
which-
it's the dum, 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 dum. It's those strings.
Oh yeah, there we go. There we
It's
go.
those
there we go.
strings. I said it too. I
Yes.
said the strings and the drums and the strings and the drums.
And now to take us out, we have Suddenly.
Suddenly people know my name. Suddenly everything has changed.
I have to read the 3 things I wrote because this song really stuck with me. The first thing is the lyrical violin situation really took me somewhere. The second thing is I love that the lyrics are her being like, suddenly I'm famous and like everyone knows that I'm special. And then also like the weird like gospel of it all at the end. Like what?
I think this is her. This is the life song, like the Hannah Montana song.
Yeah.
Like it's like my
Yeah.
dreams begin to rain. I think it's so camp that she says all the other titles, the song titles. As my dreams begin to rain, I want to say love me for me. And she goes, I won't be positive, not run away so much for you.
Yeah.
Like she's saying, she's like, oh, like this is like, I think it's a great way to like just
tie up the
close.
whole album. Yeah, she's like, this, I've done it, I released an album. It is very camp. It is very camp. And I was going to say that I feel like the way she's singing it, like it is very dramatic, and it's like, because I think it's more of like lucky, and she's only saying positive things. She's like, suddenly people know my name, and suddenly all these things have changed, and I'm gonna do this in this journey. I'm gonna act this way, be positive. But she's like, but now what? Suddenly all this has changed, and it's great. But also now what? I feel like that's why it's so dramatic at the end. It's like we really came for the order of this album, but they got us in the second half because ending the album with Headstrong and Suddenly was good.
I think I would have preferred to like end on a high note for this, or like another bop for this album.
I see that. I feel like Headstrong was the finale, and maybe Suddenly is like what happens when the credits roll when you're leaving the theater.
Yeah, exactly,
Yes.
exactly. They don't usually put a title track as the last song, so it's kind of interesting that Headstrong
It
is
was
12 of 13
good.
also. It's like, that's kind of close to the end.
I
You're kind
know.
of pushing it.
It's like iconic.
I feel like Headstrong would have been a strong album opener. I do think
I think it would be a strong
Yeah.
album opener too. And so if it's not opening, and he needed to be closing, and that's why it's so fun.
I don't really have a top 3 or bottom 3. I think that you guys should just do top 3.
Yeah,
and
you
bottom
guys
3.
should do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, my top 3 are gonna be, and this is in no order. Headstrong, it has to be Not Like That. It has to be Headstrong, Not Like That. And fuck, this is hard.
This is hard because I don't. My bottom 3 are gonna
This
be.
is hard,
I'll
like-
say my bottom 3 are "Love Me for Me," "We'll Be Together." Even though I really like it, listening to it in my grown ears, I'm thinking about how as a child, and
You're gonna say So Much For You.
I'm gonna have to put "So Much for You" on.
Those
bottom
are
3
my
too,
bottom 3 as
because
well.
I love that song now as an adult, but I would skip it. My top 3 has to be "I'm Going Crazy." And "Be Good to Me" was also, it was like, I was like, this is a great song. Like, I was like feral for that song. I need to like really emphasize that. And then,
You're right.
and I want to say everything that I didn't list in my bottom 3, I love them so much, and I really don't know how to categorize this in top 3. So I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna explain the reason why. I'm gonna say "Over It," because I used to actually, I think that was an acting exercise for me. Like I remember being like, I don't know, 8 or 9, and just like listening to that and just saying the voicemail. I can't remember it now, but like, say, why you gotta lie about it? And why you gotta lie about it? That's it.
Over her and
And why you gotta lie about it?
But I love positivity, and I love the he said, she said, and I love Not Like That.
This is really
love the music video
This is
to Not
really,
Like
really,
That.
really hard for me.
He said, she said. The credits to Bring It On for.
Okay, my top 3: Headstrong, Not Like That, and then it is gonna have to be a 4-way tie between He Said, She Said, Be Good to Me, Don't Touch the Zoom song, and unfortunately Unlove You, because it is so much to me. It means so much to me, and I love everything else other than my bottom 3. It could take it or leave it.
Yeah, exactly. The bottom 3, you're just gonna have to take that, and everything else is like honestly prime.
I went from never having heard or experienced anything about this album, nothing to everything within the past hour and a half. I'm so glad I'm here. I know so much more now.
Blessed be. Thank you for
having us, because our podcast, we don't do like reviews. We do much more like how the media affected us as like artists and like with our identity and stuff through like the Black queer lens. And so being able to just review and just
how did it make us feel?
Like, it's
in
been
the
such
moment,
a pleasure.
in the memory.
I'm so glad. Before you go, where can our people find you as a podcast, but also as individuals, if you want to share that information? I feel like you hosted this episode, so they're going to want to know where to find you.
We are grateful. We are grateful for this space.
Yes.
We are
too.
Fangirl Central. We have a podcast called Fangirl Central, and you can find us at fangirl.central on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Yes.
We also have a Patreon for bonus episodes. We're about to do like an Avatar: The Last Airbender rewatch podcast that's just for our patrons. Patrons.
It's gonna get crazy.
I'm Amanda. You can find me at Amanda Lane Miller, ALAYNE.
And I'm Amber, and you can find me at Amber L. Miller
on Instagram. Yeah, that's where you'll find us. Sometimes, like I'll do rambling things about like Doctor Who or Avatar or
and I'm on there or
Disney
not.
Channel. I've been losing my mind over Miley Cyrus recently and Beyonce, so that's kind of where we're at.
This was an honor and a pleasure. I feel like this is the crossover that we've needed and the energy that we've needed in our lives for so long. So
absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us. This has been amazing.
Thank you. Oh my goodness.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. Really, thank you for allowing us to just let us ramble about Ashley Tisdale. She is honestly really important to us.
This has felt like a sleepover.
Yeah, it has.
Yay,
it really has.
Good.
I love it. I love it.
So we hope that you enjoyed our discussion with Amber and Amanda. It was super fun, and I feel like we're best friends forever now.
Yes, agreed.
And they live where I live, so
you could really make that happen.
Yeah, maybe.
So make sure to become a faithful listener of Fangirl Central. I know that I will be. With all that being said,
for more from us, we're on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube at Sleepover Cinema, and post a full video version of each episode on YouTube every Thursday. You can follow me, Audrey, at Audrey A. Leach on everything.
And you can follow me, Hannah, at Real Judy Garland on Instagram. And please join our Discord if you haven't yet. It's a robust community of girls and gays discussing media.
And the reason this collab even happened today, so all the reason to join.
Yes, true.
You can check out our merch at twopinkproductions.com/shop. We have t-shirts, sweatshirts, stickers, and more.
And if you love yourself some Sleepover Cinema, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and let us know what you'd like to see us cover next.
Sleepover Cinema is a production of Evergreen Podcasts, produced, edited, and engineered by us, Hannah and Audrey Leach. Sleepover Cinema is mixed by Sean Roll Hoffman with theme music by Josh Perlman Hall. Executive producer is Michael D'Aloia. We don't need to know that he said.